So this was a passage actually from this book, and it's called Letters from a Stoic. It's by the author named Seneca. If you've ever seen this author here, Seneca. And it's in Stoicism. But this book is very subtly seducing me the more I read it. I'm feeling very seduced and I like it. I like it. So here's one chapter that was very interesting to me and I thought you might enjoy it as well. So thank you for listening, as always. It says, this passage, even as I fought for breath, though I never ceased to find comfort in cheerful and courageous reflections. What's this? I said. So death is having all these tries at me, is he? Let him. Let him then. I had a try at him a long while ago myself. When was this, you'll say? Before I was born. Death is just not being. What that is like, I know already. It will be the same after me as it was before me. If there is any torment in the later state, there must have also been torment in the period before we saw the light of day. Yet, we never felt conscious of any distress then. I ask you, wouldn't you say that anyone who took the view that a lamp was worse off when it was put out than it was before it was lit was an utter idiot? We too are lit and put out. We suffer somewhat in the intervening period, but at either end of it, there is a deep tranquility. For unless I am mistaken, we are wrong, my dear Lucilius. This is the person he's writing to. In holding that death follows after, when in fact it precedes as well as succeeds. Death is all that was before us. What does it matter, after all, whether you cease to be or never begin, when the result of either is that you do not exist? The man, though, whom you should admire and imitate, is the one who finds it a joy to live, and in spite of that, is not reluctant to die. And this was a passage from Letters from a Stoic by Seneca. Such an interesting question, is it not? Is there any torment in the later state? And if there is, then you might as well suppose that there was torment in the previous state, in the time before you were born. I mean, you might be asking yourself right now, what does it mean to not be here? If you were never conscious or aware of not being here before you arrived. I mean, can you imagine what it was like before you were born? And if you can't imagine that, then what would there be to fear when you're not here? Like a lamp, is a lamp less useful when its light is off or when its light is on? Or is it less of a lamp? Right? Like these are the questions I'm asking myself. Why be afraid to die? If you weren't afraid before you were here, before you were born. Perhaps it is in our existence that we develop this fear of not being here because of all of our prized possessions, our loved ones, our needs, our wants, our excitements, our ambitions. But then again, as it says here, could we not be in a state where we find endless joy to live, and in spite of that, are not reluctant to die? Might you find yourself in a state where you can be grateful and enjoy all the gifts that life has to offer, and yet be not afraid in the coming of your passing? This is the question that I pose to you, my friend, because it's one that I had to ask myself. If I never remembered being here, why would I be afraid when I'm not? Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been such an insightful question for me, and I trust that it was for you as well. Share this with someone who needs to hear it, and brighten someone's day today. Be the lamp and the light that shines in the night. And understand that no matter what, all is all right. For just as I heard John Lennon say, everything will be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end.